Let's go down to Emily Pagashnik for the weather news. Emily?
Thanks, Morgan. Here in the weather studio this week, we've been taking a look at an ice storm in Oklahoma. The governor of Oklahoma has issued a state of emergency for the state due to Thanksgiving weekend ice storms. The town of Bridgeport, their residents are still waiting for power to return. No water and no power for days after the ice storm is making things a little bit difficult around the town. The mayor says the power lines that went down were around the town's water wells, and those water wells are in the middle of a wheat field, and it's really hard to get to them. The officials aren't quite sure exactly when they're going to get everything back up and running and get life back to normal for the residents. And with those winter months, our nights get longer and longer, and it gives a chance for the aurora borealis, otherwise known as the northern lights, to be viewed for longer periods of time. The auroras are caused due to particles that are ejected from the sun's surface, and those particles ride the solar wind towards the planet Earth. And the Earth usually can deflect most of those particles due to the magnetic field. However, the magnetic field is a little bit weaker at the north and south poles, allowing those particles to enter at those two areas. And those particles interact with mainly oxygen molecules that gives us the nice green hues that we are most commonly seeing. However, they can interact with other molecules as well, giving deeper, richer colors that are more rarely seen. You can also go to a website here that gives a good prediction on when they feel the auroras are going to be viewable in your area. This red line, I know it's really hard to see on the TV screen right now, but you want that to be south of your area to better view it. You can also sign up for email alerts to find out when solar storms are happening, and can also give you a better chance at seeing those dancing lights. Now, with the drier winter months, your skin can become dry and cracked, but it can also put a damper on music.
Nariaki Sugiura has played for audiences all over the world. He knows as well as anybody how important it is to have a perfectly tuned instrument.
Depending on the country, it's different. For example, we are not recommending the United States Steinway to be imported to Japan. Japan has a different humidity level. It's much higher over there.
A piano is made of almost 3/4 wood, and humidity can cause major problems.
If you add too much moisture after that, it gets swollen, and then after that, if you dry it, it'll get cracked.
Humidity not only affects the instrument, but it can also affect its sound.
The sound will get cracked. And that actually applies to any of the other instruments. For example, string instruments, if the wood gets cracked, the sound doesn't resonate.
Many parts inside a piano can get damaged from humidity. Humidity can damage almost every part you see.
The crucial one is this damper. If there's a felt inside this pin, and if it gets swollen, of course it doesn't move.
One way you can prevent it is by actually watering your piano.
It gives the humidity. There's a water tank beneath, and you keep the water about once a week.
These tweaks can make the difference between sour notes or music to your ears. I'm Kayla Lucky, reporting for Studio One.
Now, it is recommended that you tune your piano at least twice a year, once in the winter and once in the summer. And that brings us to our weather question of the week. What is the name for the southern lights? Is it the aurora antarcticus, the australis, the africanus, or the aurora equus? Now, Morgan, the northern and southern lights are very similar in the fact that they have similar shapes and similar colors and occur at the same time.
All right, thanks, Emily. Now, Emily joins us in the studio with a final look at the weather. Emily?
Thanks, Morgan. As we look at our temperatures for the next week, most of the country is going to be pretty warm, with a lot of that warmer air hanging out in the Greater Lakes area. Now, for precipitation, not a whole lot for most of the country, mainly concentrated in the northwestern corner of the United States. And that brings us back to our weather question of the week. What is the name for the southern lights? And that is actually the aurora australis. Now, the aurora australis, they're not really viewed very often, since they are concentrated in a circle around Antarctica